Good morning, everyone. Kama mtu ananiambia kuna everyone hapa. Good morning.
Morning.
Janet,
Yes,
mambo.
poa sana.
Sheila, mambo.
Poa Juma.
Hata sijui ni screen gani na share. Bede Sheila, nimeona story.
Sasa Janet.
Yes,
Sasa
poa sana.
Nimeona
ati unasema
hiyo story yenu ya jana ina trend.
Where?
It's time you posted that podcast.
hell no.
I know you can't dare, so lucky me. Share screen. So leo naona kaa hatuna news za maana. Mbona niko na screens mbili zinafanana? I'm looking for screen to share.
Kuna news.
Kuna news?
Ya GBP na USD.
Sangapi? No, naona crude oil high volatile. Hello?
Ndio umepita huko chini.
Yes, ni crude oil. Anyway, there are a lot of news. Kuna za euro, tutazipitia. Kuna Great Britain pound iko na some news kidogo. Hakuna ile high volatile isipokuwa crude news. Alafu sasa kuna Great Britain pound iko na BOE at around 19:45 hours Kenyan time. So kuna news later in the evening, the USD na GBP, but zile high volatile kabisa ni crude oil. Ndio tuna avoid. Then kuna any major news, but it's always good to unapitia before you place your trades and stuff. So we'll be looking to see how that goes. Na ngine ulikuwa umeona Sheila? Kalenda yangu inaweza kuwa tofauti kidogo.
Hizo tu.
Jano?
Yes.
Tengela vumbi
Yes.
imepungua.
Ati nini?
Vumbi imepungua kita.
Nini inasumbua?
Vumbi imepungua.
Inapungua, kuna drizzle kiasi.
Lucky you. Leo trading view yangu imenilog out yenyewe.
Kutoka na wewe.
Natumiangi app mimi. Wako wapi? Vile jana tulikuwa tumejaa hadi tulikuwa tunashindwa ku.
Wengine walikuwa nasimama nje ya class.
Maze. Wewe unajua mimi nishaisomea kwa tent na uni.
Tent ni sawa. Kasi chini ya mti bila tent.
Ngoja uni
Sawa.
Ngoja uni wewe.
Mimi nishaisomea chini ya mti bila tent.
Uni. Kumbe nilikuwa nadhani sisi tulikuwa wasi. Kumbe tulikuwa tu watu. Unajua si hadi tulifika place tukajengewa inaitwa classes kali sana tukakataa kuenda. Juu tulikuwa tukodhia tunamaliza. Ushazoea tent.
Zoea mateso.
Maze. Anyway. Guys, welcome to today's analysis. We'll be looking at our watch list again. Great Britain pound against the yen. So the GJ in a daily time frame has been a bit of consolidation. In 4 hours chart, tumekuwa experience some good movements. Net ndio mbaya. Yeah. So yeah. We did experience some movement on the GJ. We've been selling, remember guys, until yesterday. Nakumbuka tukiangalia na nikambia Ian, I think GJ ita reverse, but it did break out to the higher side and then sasa ika reverse. So Ian ako wapi? Ian ajaingia. So that is what happened with the Great Britain pound against the yen. Personally, because the Great Britain pound is going down, so I'm thinking that Great Britain pound will sell even further. So I'll be looking for more sales in this currency pair for the day. So most likely I'll be targeting this lower low because we'll not be able to be this area without a struggle. Lazima tuta struggle kupita hii area. Unaonaje Sheila?
Yeah. A struggle kupita hiyo area.
So these are first area of target, but once we do breach this area to the downside, we might be looking for sales. But yeah, we still some good pips if you can be able to capture that. So the most important thing is to get your entries right, and especially during the London market, if you want. You might experience some little retracement back to the SNR, the previous SNR area before we go back right in and make even sell. We sell. Again, to me, a lot of risk management and anything can happen in between. Yeah, so that is it for the GJ, unless kuna any different opinion about that. Hakuna. Uliambiwa na Ian msirudi kunyamaza.
Hatuna opinions.
Hatuna.
Backbenchers ni wengi hapa. Anyway, so tumekuwa tukiangalia this currency pair, the GU. I did say that it was gonna sell. Ian was a different opinion, especially once we did hit this aerial support. It was a strong support, but for me, I was very positive it's gonna sell, and that's what happened yesterday. It did sell a big movement, a good movement. It did breach to the lower side from where we've been holding above. This is a daily time frame. This is how it looks in a daily time frame. It did break out from that area, and now we are holding below this area. That means we'll be looking for more sales actually in the long term. So if we get our entries right, then we'll be well. But again, now the entries might be tricky if you didn't get in early enough. As the market could retrace a little bit back to the SNR area before it goes way lower. So we'll be watching out to see how big our retracement will get before we go back right in. But I'm not anticipating 50% of this candle. So we'll be watching out to see how that performs. But I'll be expecting it to go. If it goes, it'll just go back into this area. So we'll be watching out, but until we get a very good price action signal to get in, we'll not be getting any trades on that currency pair, to be specific. Karibu sana Brian. Ngoja. Brian, mambo? I have a cousin called Brian Molly. Naweza kuwa ni yeye. Na by the way mnanisikia Sheila?
Tunakusikia.
Sasa naongea peke yangu hapa. Sika timia nako. Tunapigenga hiyo na kelele. So sijui kama kuna any different thoughts about this currency pair. It was a very good move, a very long move. If unakumbuka jana tukifanya analysis we were around this place. So if you did manage to sell from this high to up to here, that was a good move because nilikuwa tumepredict itapita this area. Na tukasema once we try lazima tutapata some retracement before, and I actually gave us a scenario of what gold did previously, if you can remember what gold did. This is what gold did. Na nikapeana hiyo example, nikawakumbusha tulikuwa around this area. Tulikuwa this area, we did get some buys, but these buys were just to activate. Ni vile tuseme, for example, you run back before you make a big move. So this guy was trying to save his energy. Alikuwa narudi nyuma, tuseme kama venye unatakanga kuruka. So akarudi nyuma, but akaweza kukimbia na akaweza kupita that area with a big force. That is what exactly happened with the GU yesterday. So you remember me giving such scenarios. Kuna some webinars pia nimekuwa niki-highlight na nimekuwa nikichora such setups. They do happen a lot. So we'll be watching to get good entries here. We'll be updating you during the day in case I get a good one. But again, it's up to you. It's up to you to make sure that you get very good entries on this currency pair, and make sure that if you get a good retracement, it doesn't take you out. The Aussie. The Aussie dollar. So for the Aussie, nilisema jana ni kwa bearish, nothing happened. Okay, yeah, it did sell a bit because jana tukisema we were around huku juu. We did sell, but in 4 hours chart we never broke out of where we were expecting to break to go downside. But in the long term, I'm seeing kama tunaweza break this area to the downside, so we'll be looking for sells, and the first area of target we'll be looking, it's here. This is the SNR that you have recently. However, tutakuwa na very strong risk management since this market could consolidate for quite some time before it gives us a direction. So I'll be looking for, this is a bearish market for me. I don't know anyone with a different opinion on this currency pair, but for me the Aussie is a bear market. So I'll be looking to sell. And remember guys, tulikuwa tumehighlight na tukasema previously we had not even retested the lower lows, the lower low that we had experienced. So we will not only be targeting the area that I've said, but we'll be targeting this area down here. As you can see, this area, we'll be targeting to see whether we break this area to the downside until we target this area before we make either higher highs or the market reverses to make higher highs. Any concern about that? Mutai.
Good
morning to you. How are you?
I'm fine, Aussie.
Brian, natusikia sasa? Brian bado hatusikii. Itabidi Shile ufanye captioning hapo.
Tiana amerudi, wacha kuboeka.
Kwani yeye ndiye atatubambanga. Imagine unabambanga wase hapa hivi.
Umeshinda ukimuita.
Juu yeye upeana opinion yake, which is awesome. Kama unakumbuka tukidifa about the GU, tumepitia. GU did sell yesterday, I believe you saw it, right?
Mazeni nilikuwa tu hapo.
Nakumbuka nikipeana hiyo scenario asubuhi nikasema we might get some retracement. Ako wapi pia? I would have loved her to see that.
The GU. I wish ningeisell jana, but nilimiss your move completely.
Don't worry, kutakuwa tuna move zingine like millions of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Aussie kama sasa, for example, this is a good this would be a good sell in case it breaks out. Jana ili sell by the in 1 hour, so there were very good setups yesterday. In 1 hour Jana it did sell after it did hit this area. I remember hata Ian mwenyewe alikuwa amesema we might get some bears challenge the lower lows, the previous lower low in the lower time frame, but in the higher time frame ndio Daniel alikuwa ametuambia verdict yake. For me it's still a bearish market. And now we are in that area. However, we could see some retracement before we get into the sales because we're in a very strong support area for quite some time, as you can see. So we'll be watching out to see whether we'll be able to beat that area to the downside, because if we do, we'll be looking for sales. But before we do, we might get some retracement or some consolidation before we do. So we'll be watching out for that. Ian, unaonaje about the Aussie?
Unajua by the way penye imekuja sasa hii ni crucial sana. Nikiona kwa wana ndio ina perform vizuri juu inaanza kuacha a lot of weeks to the downside tukielekea hiyo support. But mimi naona like ni some sort tumekuja tena tumebottom at that zone pia. Lakini hatujafika bado to the lowest point.
Okay.
So hii market pia ikibreak hiyo 0.7229 venye ilikuwa nasema tu pia Monday. I'll be looking for sales kwenda chini.
Alright. Sawa. So,
alafu ilikuwa jana tukisema ati ikibishwa mara ngapi, like mtu akinock mara ngapi
ule msee wa chacha kwa wapi Angelas? Angelas kwa wapi? Anafaa kwa
sijui hadi penye ameingia leo.
Nakula sembe bado.
Hatangi. Unajua tutampata tu. Brian, karibu tena. Brian, mali yako ikitu imemkataa tu.
I hope at least anatusikia.
Si wewe umemwambia mimi.
Ask unmute. Mwambie tu unmute. Yeye ndiye unmute himself.
Acha mute kwa nini? Anaona chats, labda communication yake si verbal. The EU nimekonga nikisema pia hii nimekonga very positive on the bears market. Nothing much happened yesterday on the EU in a very strong scenario area, as you can see. So in 1 hour's chart in a lower time frame, this is what happened, but it didn't go below that area. For me, I'm still positive that we'll be able to beat that area to the downside. This is how it looks in a daily time frame kwa wenye tujakuwa tukiangalia. Na nikasema we've been in a bearish market and we were unable to take out these buys. We tried even harder, but we never managed to make any higher. So as a result, then we were pushed back. So tukaanza kutafuta njia ingine, and the other way we got is the bears market. But we are in a very sensitive area where we have very strong support. So whether we are buying or selling,
Hebu angalia kwa daily, hii inaweza kuwa like a double bottom on the daily chart.
See, hii ni daily chart. Unasema mali tuko saa hizi?
Penye tuko saa hii. Jana tulikuja tukaachia.
It could be
a double bottom vizuri.
It could be a double bottom, but what a double bottom will be is if it okay, we could say that this is a double bottom tukiangalia na hizi mbili, but still because we are still performing on this, we couldn't say that we already have formed a double bottom. But if you go upside, then we'll start looking for a retracement to get in for the buyers. But before then, we are still bearish until this gives us a signal. When I say a signal, it means there's something we can see from that specific market, so that we decide whether we're getting in or we're getting out. So as at now, we wouldn't call this a double bottom because it hasn't given us the final verdict of itself. We are still in that area. But for me, largely, I'm in the long term. In the long term, I'm looking for sales in this currency pair. As you can see, imejaribingi kuvuka. You can see it's a double top in a weekly chart. So once it breaches that area, we'll be looking to go even lower. But before we do, we'll be looking to see how it performs. It might even retrace a little bit to form. So again, guys, make sure you're not left with these. Again, the maana kuna pending orders. If you're kama kwa big challenge, there are guys who I speak personally tunaangalia the entries and exits. Yeah, make sure that you get in very good. These are very good trades if they do perform. On the USD card, I'm very bullish on this market because of correlation. We said that if the rest are buying, then we must be selling on this currency pair. Already we are holding above the buy. The buyers are holding above this area, means that they are still a bit strong. However, they've not been able to beat that area at the upper side. They've stagnated for quite a while. But we'll see how it performs later during the day. But generally, in the long term, I'm looking at this currency pair as a buy. Yeah, niliacha tukiongea juu ya support na resistance kwa hii currency pair, sijui tulifikisha wapi.
Waliinuka.
Waliinuka. So I was expecting, like I said, because of the correlation, yeah, I was expecting us to buy. And actually, I think in the long term, we'll be buying and even making higher highs. But again, our first target will be this area. But once we do breach this area to the upper side, we'll be looking to make higher highs. That is now in a larger time frame.
Jana wase walikataa kuchange polarity kabisa. Wali break below but unajua the retest came in alafu wakarudi back. So they came back into their zone kabisa. So walikataa wa break kabisa that support zone kabisa. Venye hiyo kulikuwa na hiyo marubuzu ku break on the 4 hour but wakarudi ndani back to that zone bado. So bado hii zone naweza taka tena tukuje tu retest one more time. Tuangalia actually how itakuwa. So my zone hapo sana sana ni 1.26291 hapo tu.
So tutakuwa tunaangalia. Me personally, I think that is a very good I think that is a very good trade if it performs, because jana unakumbuka nikisema if you are selling the rest of the currencies, then there is a likelihood that the USD card will be buying. And yesterday it did move a little bit, so today we'll be looking to see whether we get good entries again on that currency pair. GJ umeona retrace, like imesell actually, like I was like tulikuwa tunasema, nakumbuka. I'm sure you were trading your stop loss, so I'm sure you may hit your stop loss.
Ni obvious ilirudi tu kwa penye nilikuwa na TP. By the DJ speed usonga mbio ni aje. Watu wa Britain speed wanasongesha the market vizuri sana. I'm at risk for the meantime because the market is actually starting to trend.
Unajua najaribu kuminimize hii screen yangu. Windows.
Lakini mimi nilikuwa na trend na struggle.
Hadi nimefungua window nyingine.
Iko huko juu. Unaona hizi dots ziko kando ya picha yako huko juu. Ya actual server.
Anafanya nini?
Fanya hapo zoom out hapa less 150% punguza.
Sheila, you are heaven sent.
Thank you.
Tumekuwa na watu kaa wewe, assets. You are an asset to this team.
Ila najua tu anajua kupeana madirect.
Kila mtu ako na papasi yake huku.
Ili kasi yako upewe.
Mimi nacheka juu Sheila aliongelea hiyo kitu ya kupeana instructions jana. Just very funny.
Hapa tuko kazi wewe.
Anywho, like tumesema, so you can see in 1 hour's time frame hali na hold inaweza retrace kidogo and then we look for more buyers, so we'll be watching out for that. I'll be buying that currency pair personally, so we'll see how it performs. The USD-GPY, USD yen has been a very, very, very tricky currency pairs for us for a number of weeks, and then like we always say, at the end of every consolidation we must get a very good breakout. This is what happened. Yesterday tukasema kusell on the higher time frame would be kitanzi. Angela kwanza alitumia jina kitanzi, which for real it is, because unaona ilianza ku retrace, haija make movements tangu jana. So unaona it has been a number of hours. It may make movement kidogo sana, very few pips, which are not worth the risk, as unaweza ona sometimes ilikuwa na retrace. So yeah, we'll be watching out to see how that performs, but most likely we'll be making even higher highs on that currency pair. As you can see in a daily time frame, we are a bit afraid because of the area that we are at. We might be pushed a little bit back, but generally I'm positive that we'll make higher highs. We'll make higher highs on this currency pair. So that is it for me. Brian.
Yeah.
Mambo.
Poa.
Uko wapi?
Niko place fulani kuna echo.
Oh, kuna kelele kiasi hapo kwako.
Kiasi.
So we'll be looking to see whether you beat this area to the upper side. This is a weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, this is how it looks, but it's not going to be a smooth sail. So yeah, we'll be looking to see whether we make even higher highs after that. So I'll be expecting some retracement. So it is a bit risk of a market. Hapo ndo naambianga unakaa chini kwanza unaangalia if it was the risk, especially ikikupata on a retracement area. But it's a good trade. After retracement, we'll be looking to that area to the upper side. Eurocard, ako wapi Elim leo? Elim leo pia amepata shughuli. So Eurocard imetuweka parking for long pia. It decided to sell finally. But again, Jana this morning ime hold. Jana it did buy a little bit. We'll be seeing, I'll be very eager to see how this performs, but sijapitia. So Eurocard generally, I think it will be buying. Eurocard will be buying. I'll see how it performs. However, because of the euro and the news, we might get some little highs and lows of that. So I'm not decided on that market. I'm very, very skeptical on getting into the Eurocard market. Since we might also go below to touch the bar that we're expecting to go to touch at the end of the day. So this might just be a retracement before we come here and then we take our buys. So I'll be watching out for that unless there's someone who looked at, into this currency pair to be specific. Ian, did you look into this? Najua you don't trade this because we all don't, we just put it here for practice.
But is the analyze mimi this pair?
But it appear a clear indication of what it wants to do. And in such a market, it's a bit of a dangerous market. As you can see in a daily time frame, it's been consolidating for a very long time. We thought it did break out, did come right in, and consolidate. So we don't know once it hits this area whether it will be too upper to chase you again. Ama to get a good breakout. By the end of the day, we'll get a very good breakout in a few maybe days, weeks. But yeah, we must get a very good movement out of this at the end of the day. That is our end game. So that is it for the Eurocard. We will not be looking for any trades on that currency pair to be specific, because even if we are selling, we are a bit late. We'll just get a few pips, and I think the risk is not worth the trade. I think for me, it's not worth it. Ama mnaonaje? Janet.
Yes.
Wewe si utuambie hii unaonaje hii ni silver. Silver inakupelekaje?
Mimi sijai trade.
Trading silver na wapeanga setups nzuri sana za silver.
Mimi sijaiangalia.
Ndio hii ona vile inakaa. So we are holding below this area. Like I said before, kama unakumbuka. Say hii week haitatuacha hivyo. Such weeks, most of the times, I think I'll make a webinar for these, the spikes and the fake outs. When we do have a fake out, sometimes depending with the magnitude of the fake out, after to take time, we always come back right into it, and that's what exactly happened. Hatuja exhaust this week because we have a few pips before tufike hapa chini kabisa. But tuli karibia, like we missed with a very few pips actually. Like it's almost we did hit it for the silver. So we'll be looking to see whether this market goes up or down. It is in a very tricky area. So for the silver, again, I'll suggest that we stay out. It's not clear at all. As you can see, we are in a very strong support area. Anything might happen, and we might even come back right in to make higher highs. But before then, we'll be watching for that metal very closely. But I will be staying out of that market completely for the day. For the oil, US oil, we did say that we've been looking for buys, and it's been performing very well. As you can see, this is how oil has been performing. It did breathe area to the upper side. We did get some gapping in the 4 hours chart. Na tulipofika hapo tukasema we're in a very sensitive area. In a daily time frame, this is how it looks. We are in a very sensitive area because tulifika hapa hivi to continue with our buys. Na tukasema we'll get out of this market and see how it performs again. So we have no clear indication yet that we are back in the buys or in the sells. Yesterday, Ian pia tulikuwa tuna anticipate some sort of retracement because of the gapping, and that is what happened later during the day. During the day. Today as well, we'll not be looking for any trades on this currency pair. You can try and sell, you get some few pips, but again, it's very risky. It's not worth it, especially because it is oil, a very high pip value. So we'll be watching to see how it performs. If it gives us a price signal of buying, we'll inform you. If it gives us a signal of sales that the bears have taken over the market again, we'll give you that. We'll look into that. Again, what tunaangalia this metal, this commodity almost every day, so I'm sure we'll not miss it. And lastly, because sijaona request leo ya any currency pair, gold did hit our take profit yesterday. This region, remember I had highlighted it with this what do we call it, trend line. So I was expecting gold to reach this area, but like I said, we still have a week that we haven't exhausted. Will we be able to reach here? Ama tuta change direction tukiwa hapa na tupande juu? I'm not sure what will happen. This is a pattern. This is a good pattern. Hii ndio mnaitanga kikombe Ian. Ian, is this a cup?
Tunajua vile cup. By the ebu acha tu nione tu vile cup tu like kuka. Cup sana tunaweza pata which currency sahihi. Lakini hii huwezi sema sahihi cup unless kama unataka uongeze the whole thing.
Bado tuna handle hata.
So like a cup tu inakuanga like kwanza the market inateremka alafu tuna some sort of bottoming, then the market ina rise. Kufika kwa ile resistance unapata like atuendi juu tena zaidi, then the market actually tunapata like some kihando. After that handle sasa unapata the market inaanza kwenda hapa and tuna retest moja tukiendanga haya. So like the cup and handle inakuwa tu pattern Kenyan market na bottom. Lakini unaweza angalia like sana kitu kama hapa hivi. And the market inarudi back to a zone, then like there is some sort of a zone hapo hivyo, then the market ina rally kwenda juu. So inaweza kuwa tu a cup and handle.
So bado tulisema tuko na hiyo setup, but in the general view, like I said, in this currency, in this metal, I'll be looking for sales personally. The reason being is because, first of all, we've been in a bearish market. We did try to break this area to the upper side. Remember, this was our ilikuwa highest tumemake kenye tulitake profits zetu. Then we started moving back down na tumefika hapa. Bado tunaona kuna a lot we haven't retested this week, which also tried to retest this area lastly, and it did manage. So will we be able to reach that area again, ama tuta change direction tukiwa hapa na tupande? The more likelihood of this price action, I'll get into this deeper. I know we do not have time today, is we'll get some retracement before we come back right in to even take off this week. So there is a likelihood that the gold market will be selling, but again, because of the value, if you're not sure, I always suggest that you stay out of it. We're in a very sensitive area, very strong support. But once we do once we breathe that area to the downside, we'll be looking to challenge this area here. So again, So basically we'll be looking for some retracement here and then get our entries. So that is it for the gold, unless there is a request of any currency pair. I love the New Zealand dollars. I love Kiwi. Kiwi performs similarly to the rest. Unaona imehold like the Aussie. So sijui kama ita break out. I'm very bearish on this market. I'm thinking this is a bear market. As you can see, imekuwa ikisell for quite some time. This is a daily time frame. It's been on a downtrend. It hasn't made any higher highs. It did breach this area, but it never went to challenge this area, and it was pushed down. We are holding above the support area right now. Even if you looked at it in 4 hours, you would see that in the recent past, we are holding above a support area. So will we be able to breach this area to the downside? Ama tutapanda juu. New Zealand is a very good currency pair as well. Would look at that, but I'm bearish on this market, so I'll be expecting to see some sort of resistance before I get my positions right for the week. So that is it for the day, for our daily analysis. Naona leo hakuna maswali because pia jana tulikuwa tumepitia most of them in depth. So unless there is a question, USD chef iliperform vile tulikuwa tunataka. Mliambia nisitange chef.
Itatu.
You guys are not good guys. So yesterday tulikuwa wapi? Yesterday tulikuwa mahali hapa hivi. So it did buy, but haijafika na tukasema the first place tutakuwa na challenge in this area. Remember?
Yeah.
We just managed that with 1 or 2 candles na tukafika. Then tumekuwa tukihold above that area. So at the end of the day, we are looking to see whether tutafika kwa hii bar. But once we do, I'm thinking personally, I do not trade this currency pair, but I know that we'll make higher highs on that currency pair, to be specific, and even challenge the higher highs, because already we are holding above a very strong SNR area. And so it means that we have taken, in a daily time frame, we have taken out the sellers. So we might be looking to challenge this area up here, and that will be the end game for USD Swiss franc before we look for any other setup on that currency pair. So kama una trading USD Swiss franc, that is what I'm doing. Poleni kwa hiyo. So I think that is it guys. Si mkuwe na siku njema. Tuonane kesho. Majaliwa, Mungu awapatie tips zikuwe na nyinyi. Mtu anasemangaje hiyo na Kiswahili?
Tips ziwasindikisha pale mnaenda.
Sawa. You guys have a good day and the to be here.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.